What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Thursday. How is everyone doing? How was your trading day today? We finally had a move to the downside on the dollar. It finally happened. We have been trying to track that move, and there you go. It happened. It started yesterday. In the evening. It still respected the highs. Again, there was two possibilities that you're looking for. Kind of test a little bit of the highs or a potential still fake out before moving down. But there you go. It starts to fill this first initial space that was available in here. Before we get into the charts and analyzing everything that played out today and start predicting what you are looking for tomorrow, because that's the main goal of this live stream. So if you are new, basically what I'm doing in here is to try to look for the best opportunities for tomorrow trading session. It's my pre-market analysis. I'll be doing this regardless, so I just decide to go live and maybe some of you guys can get some value. And if you do have any charts or assets that you want to look for, feel free to write on the chat and we can analyze the market together. So we had news, right? We finally had news across the world, kind of in Europe, UK, and then finally in the US as well. So today was a manufacturing and services PMI. Again, this is kind of a unique news event, especially in the morning for the euro, because we have those news first in France at 8:15 and then at 8:30 goes into Germany. So initially the news were negative. We had that initial push down on the euro, and then the news was slightly better in Germany in terms of upgrading here on the manufacturing and also the services, and then you had the move to the upside, right? Unfortunately, I didn't really trade at that zone. It was a really good level on the euro, but I didn't pull the trigger with just close to the news. I kind of decided not to, even though it was a good zone. It is what it is. In the UK, the news are not as good. Actually, the manufacturing got a little bit closer to the 50 mark. And the service PMI was also slightly lower than expected. And then at 1:30 we had a really good number for the unemployment claims. Really good, I mean below the expectation, but it's still within that range, right? We have been talking about this range between 220 to 240. And that's basically the average where this unemployment claims has been. The problem was 2 weeks ago when it was at 258, last week at 242, and now 227, kind of is coming back to normality. So no problems in there. We actually had a little bit of volatility in here because again, it was slightly lower than expected. And then the manufacturing and services PMI in the US, which were slightly better than expected as well. Right, and this is now the moment where when you start looking at the charts, just 1 second before that, tomorrow we have retail sales in Canada, durable goods in the US, and nothing really much going on aside from that. We actually have CPI in Japan, so that can create some volatility on the end pairs overnight. Aside from that, it may be another day just based on price action. Now, when you're looking at the charts and when you start looking at the news, this is the moment that, for example, a higher number or better data in the manufacturing service PMI in the US, in theory, would mean a strong dollar. Like that, in theory, what we'll do. And actually, we had that initial move to the upside on the dollar, but it was rejected straight away and price moved to the downside. Like, and this is where sometimes it goes into the conflict between a kind of price action analysis or technical analysis and fundamentals, right? And this is where also sometimes you start having the turn on the, again, in my opinion, it's all about spice. It's all about leaving spice and price getting into good levels in the higher time frame. And those prices in that level kind of now perhaps in selling territory, even if the news are good, you may have that initial reaction to the upside, but then it's going to be rejected straight away. And that's sometimes why you have sometimes good data that actually ends up behaving, or the market ends up moving in the opposite direction. And this actually demonstrates a little bit more of a potential strength to the downside. Like again, because if the news are good, in theory, if those news were happening anywhere in here, the market would just jump to the upside and just continue this trend. But now that you are maybe getting into a level where you're looking for the reversals, or price maybe getting close to a retrace in here to the downside, so a positive news, it's not even managing to push price to the upside, not even that much. It was just a small spike and price actually ended up breaking new lows. Like that's what we need to start being aware of, as well as what's the sentiment also in the where price is, the charts, and then try to understand how can we actually interpret the news that is being released. So here we are at this point on the dollar index. Price still reacting from that level that you mentioned. There's maybe potential zone slightly higher in here, and this can become an interesting high in there, right? So again, it can be one of the first engulfing daily candles in here to the downside. As you can see, basically it's just bullish candles all the way since the beginning of October, and we had a little bit of a strong bearish candle 1 week ago, but didn't even manage to break below the previous low of the previous day, and now it did. Like, it basically managed to do it. It's going to be interesting just to see if it's actually going to manage to close below or not. I'm not a big, for me it doesn't really matter if it closes below or not, where the candle closes. Basically at least I pay more attention actually to the lows or the highs in themselves. Kind of, did you break structure or not? I don't care if it closes or not below the level. But this is where we have, like, so this morning we were looking for the dollar index to react at least from that level or slightly higher before moving to the downside. Price basically was already already moved to downside even during the Asian session, and then we did have that spike in here. This was with the news, manufacturing services in the euro around the London Open, and then you had the big sell-off, right? This was the moment where actually euro dollar reacted perfectly from the level. So basically what the difference is in here is that while euro dollar went all the way to this extreme, right? Now we're going to reverse the situation because it's going to be at the lows. Like, euro dollar had kind of a small structure in there and then moved to the upside, and basically price came all the way to react from here and then pushed. Dollar index just stayed around this level. It was still a fresh level in here, but that's where dollar index paused. So dollar index still has this level in here, while euro dollar doesn't really have this level in here anymore. So by any chance, if dollar index is about to retrace all the way, you can still respect this level, and euro dollar either reacts basically above this zone in here, or then eventually can even fake out the lows and find new buy orders. All right, so that's a little bit of the difference that we have now between dollar index and the euro dollar, just to bear in mind. Now, we did manage to break below this level, so we entered into this compression. So I'm expecting eventually this dollar index to get closer to these lows in here, and can even open the door eventually the possibility of going even further down as well. Now, price could even retrace all the way before filling this price. We'll see what's going to happen in there. Yeah, it's basically reacting from this structure. Again, I'm expecting eventually a little bit more to the downside. We'll see how price may react from here. So that's going to be a little bit of the zones I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. Okay, so opportunities within this range as well, a little bit more bearish than bullish still. And yeah, if we do even manage to break slightly new highs, I could see a reaction straight away above that. So that's going to be what I'm going to be looking for in here on the dollar index. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, those walls are basically the first level I'm going to be looking for. All right, now the US indices, they were basically in a range today. Okay, it was a good recovery yesterday in the evening. Again, there were some earnings. I think it was Tesla, and the earnings continue as well in the US. So again, potentially more volatility. I'm not really sure who's going to announce today. Next week, I think it's going to be also the big tech with Apple, Microsoft. I don't know if Google already announced or not. But that's something to keep an eye on. So we had that initial move to the downside yesterday. Today we had a recovery. Price just found the next level of support resistance, and it continued to push a little more to the downside. And now we are within this range. We did manage to break below those lows, all right, which can open the door a little bit more to the downside as well. Not sure if price reacted from a good level. It looks like there's something in here, but maybe that actually can open or may open the door for price to go perhaps closer to this level in there. So that's something to pay attention to in here on the S&P. All right, so again, potentially more sell opportunities if price goes slightly higher. Again, we have that level, and you have the other one as well, even somewhere in here in that level, or even slightly higher as well. So basically one or two. This one is basically already reacted from. Not really sure about these lows. So there, those are basically a few levels in here. Nasdaq, same thing. So we kind of reacted from that structure. I could eventually see Nasdaq going a little bit more to downside. And yeah, those are just a few zones in here. So now we are within this range. We'll see what's going to happen in here on the Nasdaq. Dow Jones just continues to move to the downside. Again, you're looking for price to get slowly closer to this level in here. All right, so that's a little bit where we are looking for. So it's navigating a bit more. Today it has been a bit more bearish comparing with the other US indices. Again, this played out exactly as we are anticipating, and we'll see price eventually gets closer to the target, and eventually can even go a little bit closer to this level in here. So yeah, that's a little bit of the zones that we have. And then DAX as well. So it reacted nicely from that level. It may have broken that level in here as well, so it may open the door to go further down. That's the way I'm reading this chart. Now, good reaction from this initial zone. We could even react slightly higher. So as you can see, I had this mark yesterday and this one in here as well. So that was the first level where DAX actually ended up reacting, and we'll see if it ends up reacting also from this level in here to the upside, and if we are going to be stuck within this range or not, or if price eventually will just continue to move to the downside. So that's something that we need to bear in mind. Again, the break of this level as well, it may have opened the door. So I can actually just maybe ignore this one already, so that's gone. So those are just a few zones in here to keep an eye on, and if price may want to even respect that level, perhaps it can as well, somewhere in there. So that's basically the range that we are playing with. Bitcoin recovering as well. So yesterday both Bitcoin and Ethereum reacted really good from the zones on the left side. So we managed to break below that level, open the door, and prices literally filled the next price, which is within this demand zone in there. All right, basically Quasimodo in here as well. So that was a good reaction. Now it's starting to bounce a little bit from this level. We mentioned that level was a little bit fresh, and then you may have the zone slightly higher in there as well. Right, so we'll see if price is going to challenge again this 69 or getting closer to 70, or if it's going to find some sell opportunities in here. I would like to see maybe price going slightly higher, to be honest. The way price is moving again is respecting this structure, so that's respected as well. So keeping an eye to see if there's going to be a break or not to the downside. And then Ethereum as well basically fill out the space that we were looking for, reacted perfectly from that level. It's a little bit more bearish comparing with Bitcoin, and perhaps again if it starts breaking this level, then starts open door to go even further down in terms of levels that can respect. Yeah, that level could be, and yeah, then you'll see that's playing out a little bit as we looked for. Looking at the Euro index, all right, so we're starting to turn to the upside. Nicely done. Basically still respecting that low. Again, I'm looking for price to go slightly lower, but if it is reacting already from here, it's totally okay. So we had this strong trend line also being created in here, which price basically now is just breaking it. Nice reaction from this demand zone, and that's why also we are looking or noticing a little bit more of a strength on the euro pairs, euro dollar being also kind of the main one, especially today. So we did manage to break it, retest, and go. So that was interesting in here. Yeah, so that's nice. Again, this news in here, this kind of was created with the news of in the morning. Yeah, so we could continue to move a little bit more to the upside, to be honest. Could retest, could go. So that's something to bear in mind. Let's see if price actually managed to break above that level, and perhaps we could have a little bit of a turn in here on the euro index. A lot of this zone in here looks compressed to me. We may have a little bit of a zone in there, and then yeah, we'll see. Do have this previous support resistance as well, something that maybe can pay attention to. Yeah, we'll see. But for now it's gaining momentum. And then you have also the yen pairs. So again, I was wishing for price to go slightly lower. We have been waiting for price to fill also all this price. So finally it's reacting from this demand zone. I would like to see price even going slightly lower in there, but for now it's finding some buy orders at around this level. So price is basically just filling this initial space in there. Good reaction now from this structure in here. All right, and that can even go and react from here as well. So that's a little bit of a zone in here on the yen index that you are paying attention to until we eventually potentially turn. Like I would like still this yen index to have or use this low as liquidity. So basically maybe create a double bottom from there and eventually do something like that to turn, I would like to see something like that playing out. All right, so basically first to retest or respect this low, create kind of a double bottom that would create a little bit more of EI to potentially look for a reversal in here, especially if then price fakes out and breaks a high. Then yeah, then basically we are ready for that turn. Maybe there's some kind of trend line as well that you can track, but for now this is a little bit of what I'm going to be looking for. So yeah, as price maybe getting closer to this level, perhaps can be some selling pressure. We'll see. I'm a little bit more. My buy is a little bit more to look for longs at this point. But yeah, some selling opportunities can also happen in there. Just conservative, trying to look for these lows as the target. All right, now looking at the individual currency pairs, right? We're looking at the euro dollar as a starter. All right, so there you go. So this was the trade, and yeah, this was a missed opportunity. Already tracked it as a missed opportunity. This was the move, right? So basically price, we talked about this level yesterday. Basically that's where price was reacting. We mentioned that price was finally reacting from a good level in here on the left side. All right, so in the lower time frame we can literally see the demand zone underneath these lows, so that's perfect. That was also one of the predictions in case price actually would about to fake out these lows, which this low was already breaking that low. So usually when that happens, price ends up, when they're tracing here, ends up actually taking that low, and you'll find, and our goal is to try to find the next fresh level, and it was there. All right, so price then start to move to the upside. How good. I was looking for price eventually to break this high, and it happened. Like it actually happened in the morning, and then it was the news, right? Then you had the initial news in France, and then yeah, then in German. Like it was that quick. It was a nice Quasimodo as well that was playing out in here. Good reaction from this from the demand zone as well. There's maybe one last fresh level in there, but that was it. Like quick with the news, just turn around and it went. Like again, situation with trading, I don't mind trading news, but usually when I trade news, I like to be involved already in the trade a few minutes, and by a few I mean like just 15 minutes before the news. And I'm talking usually about perhaps NFP, CPIs, or something like that. This type of news when it's just a pure turn. Yeah, I like to see maybe price spending a bit more time in here. This time didn't do that. It was a clean move. Actually, it was really good. It spent time in this level instead of spending time close to the walls, and sometimes it happens. In here, I don't really like to trade it. I like to trade closer to the walls, but really nice move on the euro dollar. Then you manage to break the high, starts opening the door. Then you have a little bit of manipulation in here. This looks like kind of a zone 2 type of a move. And then there you go. Then now continuation, we are free, to make a bigger move to the upside in here on the euro dollar to fill basically out of this range, to start aiming for price to get closer to this level. That's a little bit of what I'm looking for in here on the euro dollar, to be honest, and eventually getting even in there. All right, and this is actually a little bit more of the target that I'm going to be aiming for on the euro. This level in here is already a break, so eventually could have some reaction from there, but eventually I would like price to take all these highs in there. Now, how price can move towards there, right? Apparently, there's a little bit more strength going on in here, and potentially move downside on the dollar. So yeah, we could see eventually retracement closer to this level again. All right, price eventually could get closer to this level, use this level, and continue to move to the upside. Maybe tomorrow or something like that. So that could play out. Maybe price could react a little bit from this level first after taking this high, retrace, and then continue. So those are just a few ideas in here to look for. But again, the bigger turn actually happened today. This can be the bottom for now. Okay, we just faked out an important low. So this could be a little bit of retracement before actually move to the downside again. By any chance, if price does want to have a deeper retracement closer to this level, yeah, maybe have this structure here. There's maybe something in there that we can look for. But yeah, that's more of a wishful thought at this point. Pound dollar, right? Pound dollar is not as bullish as the euro. Again, it respected that double bottom that we talked about. I kept respecting this zone. I was looking for price to go a little bit lower. It still needs to break this high. Got really close to it. Maybe it's going to do it now. Again, with the news they were not that good. But even though they were not that good, price just retraced a little bit, and actually it's challenging to move to the upside. So that's something I think Governor Bevy is still going to speak this afternoon, not this evening. So maybe attention to that. But yeah, a little bit more indecisive, not as strong as the euro at this point. Again, if it starts breaking to the upside in here, it also has a lot of space that can eventually fill to the upside. So that's something to bear in mind. Again, I would even like to see potentially pound dollar actually retracing a little bit more to this level, but potentially faking out this double low in here if it doesn't even want to create new lows. At least maybe to fake out this these double lows in there, and yeah, maybe something like that could play out, and then eventually turn and move to the upside. We do need a break in here as well, like, but that could be interesting. And as long as in this case I mentioned, if price does keep respecting this these lows, otherwise price can go a little bit lower. On the other side, you have euro pound. So I'm still in the trade in here. So I survived. Actually, yesterday I closed a little bit just before going to bed or something like that. I do think I closed a little bit some more in here. I saw that price was approaching this level, and I didn't really want to. Just wanted to take some profit out as well just before going to sweep, especially because price was at a good level. Aside from that, I'm just letting price move. Like, I'm completely aware that euro pound tends to range quite a lot. So I did survive this news with the manufacturing service PMI in the Eurozone and in the UK. So I survived that. Again, my stop loss is somewhere in here. It's at break even. So basically my entry is somewhere in there. I survived that. I'm still looking for price to go. I'm looking for price to go even more to the upside. I think there could be an upside move in here, especially if the euro continues to get that strong. Eventually, the pound, I believe, is going to get a little bit strong as well. But for now, especially in here on the euro pound and where price is reacting on the left side, I could see the potential for price perhaps not even stopping in here. If it actually breaks above this level, I think it has all this compression eventually to go. May have a zone in here, and then we can go even higher than that. So that's a little bit of the play I'm going to be looking for. I'm okay now with this retracement. Yeah, so hopefully price actually managed to break above yesterday's a high in there. So that's something that I'll be paying attention to. Again, price can definitely still respect this level in there and move to the downside. So that's something to bear in mind in here for the euro pound, especially for me, because I'm actually in a trade in here. Yeah, and then just above it. So we'll see in here on the euro pound what's going to happen. Aussie dollar, it's also reacting from, again, that was already yesterday, it reacted perfectly from this level. It started to move to the upside and now kind of retested a little bit this demand zone, which it was demand zone in here. Really nice reaction. And it started to move to the upside. So we'll see if there's going to be any more PA being created at around this structure, or if price eventually wants to take these lows and potentially move a little bit more to the downside, could even aim towards that level, for example, before moving to the upside. But now that we, again, similar to the euro dollar, we did manage to fake out an important low, which means that we could find some buy pressure at around this level. We can even target out these highs and getting closer to that level in there as well, or eventually going all the way and start aiming towards here or towards there. Right, so that's something to bear in mind in here on the Aussie. So perhaps with a little bit more of PA at around here, maybe price could range a little bit and then kind of, again, could range a little bit and then potentially make a move to the upside. Yeah, where did this high reacted from? I'm not sure if it is an interesting level or not. Yeah, so that could happen in here on the Aussie dollar. Looking at New Zealand as well, right? It's reacting from a really good level. I really like where it is reacting from at this point. So I'm definitely trying to look for some longs in here. Again, price already got really close to that level, so that actually could have been a long in there. So we'll see if that's going to play out or not. And a lot of compression on the way up, a little bit also on the way down. We'll see if it's going to create some kind of PA around this level. Again, this was the daily open. Again, New Zealand always has these weird spreads being created around the daily open. So we'll see, right? So yeah, we'll see if they're going to have some kind of opportunities in here tomorrow on New Zealand dollar to push to the upside. The other Aussie pairs, as Euro Aussie moving to the upside as well because of the euro, and while Aussie as well was trying to correct a little bit, but this was definitely more of because of the strength on the euro. Basically today we had Euro Aussie and Aussie dollar moving a little bit in alignment. It's getting closer again. We have been looking for price to get to that level, but now price respected perfectly a double bottom in here, still respecting this level. So this could actually be a continuation to the upside from here. All right, price respecting this double bottom, respecting that level. It could actually be an upside move on the EURUSD. Don't forget that you actually managed to break above this high, right? So that can be also an engulf to the upside, and price eventually could continue to go higher in here. All right, looking at the Aussie yen now with the yen pairs as well, moving to a little bit more to the upside. The yen index, the yen pairs moved lower, and again, this is the target that we have been looking for. Basically, price is approaching that level. So if I count the high, still reacting from that zone on the left side, right, still reacting from the extreme in there. And now one of the targets was which we to look for this band zone, and basically price just reacted from it. Like if you take in consideration actually the structure, that's basically where price just reacted from. So we'll see if from here it's going to be more buy pressure or not, and yeah, we'll see. Or if price is going to find some more selling pressure close to these levels. Again, you can even fake out that level. Price could react from here as well. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Dollar yen just filled this initial range as well, so we looked for that price for that level as well. Everything was compressing here, and you're looking for price to eventually fill everything in here. So that's basically what happened. Again, overnight price was already moving quite a lot to the downside. So yeah, we'll see if we're going to find now more buy orders at around this structure, or if price eventually just going to continue to move lower until eventually retraces. Again, we are reacting from that level on the left side. So attention to this zone in here on the dollar yen. See how price maybe eventually reacts from there. Euro yen. It was a little bit in alignment with the other yen pairs, but now again it looks like there's a little bit of strength on the euro. So again, euro yen going as well to the upside. You did manage to break below that low, so that can start opening the door a little bit more to the downside, even though price just respected now actually the left shoulder. So that's something to bear in mind. Again, I still like the idea of potentially reacting from a little bit closer to those highs in there. I can even just continue this bullish momentum where it is at this point. But yeah, something to bear in mind in here. Potential again, by any sales, it's going to be somewhere in there, or eventually just threatening price moving to the upside as well. I can literally the dollar is just crashing. On the end, moved a little bit more to downside. Now basically reacting, or we reached the target as well. Basically one of the first levels, it will be this level of structure here, perhaps a little bit into there as well. So there you go, it corrected. So after this big move to the upside, just retraced out the way. So that's it was a good move, and we'll see if now find some more buy pressure or price will eventually break lower. Like we do have that structure already created in here. Yeah, we'll see if price at least retraces back into this level or not. Yeah, we'll see. Yen as well, what to sell off as well from here. Basically fill the target by literally coming all the way back to the demand zone. Like great reactions, great moves in here on the yen pairs, which you just price filling the space. It's just filling out this compression to the upside. There was a turn, and then just moving to the downside. Like compression, then eventually some momentum, but slowly just filling all the space. And it was this one, it was dollar yen, it was euro yen, pound yen, basically all the yen pairs moving in the same way. Dollar CAD today actually kept respecting this low and then found some more buy pressure. Again, we are compressing in here. Anytime price breaks a high, retraces. Anytime price breaks a high, starts retracing as well. Taking all these demand zones away from here, which eventually can lead into a bigger short. So again, let's see if price by any chance has something in there that it wants to react from. You may have that, well, may have something in there and can even go slightly higher as well, but that's definitely something to bear in mind as it continues to create new highs, like basically creating new highs and higher lows. So that's something to bear in mind. The reality is that anytime it goes slightly higher, it kind of finds straight away some selling pressure in here, and yeah, there's maybe still something that price could eventually react from. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it can eventually come all the way, retest, and potentially go higher again. The other cat pairs, we have EURUSD most likely moving to the upside as well. There you go. Like you kept respecting these lows in here. So you start having that pattern kind of break to the upside and go up, then that fake out with the news, and then just broke to the upside. Again, filling out this space as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. But then good reaction from somewhere around these lows in here, which you're finding some levels of support in here. It can continue to go higher, to be honest, and eventually go in there. I wouldn't be surprised, but for now, maybe something above this size in there. A really strong move on the euro just right now. Pound CAD, same thing. So it just turned, kept respecting that low. We actually mentioned the price was reacting from here yesterday. Apparently managed to hold these lows. Price reacting also from that month zone on the left side, looking for price to get a little bit in here. Now price already broke this level, so you can actually be an engulf to the upside eventually, with price going a little bit more into that level. But for now, I'm looking for price potentially have some kind of reaction from this level. Otherwise, price can just easily move upward. What else? Dollar franc Swiss. Dollar franc Swiss is another one that I've been looking to see if price eventually goes a little bit more to the upside. Has been in this range, so again, not exactly the best pair to trade in these last few days. I'm just waiting to see dollar franc Swiss getting a little bit closer to this level and then eventually moving to the downside. Again, that's the play I'm looking for, or eventually even into that level. Like, so it doesn't really change my analysis and what I've been looking for based on today's price action, which is in the range in here. Yeah, gold had a little bit of a retracement again, reacted perfectly from the fresh level that we had in here. So start moving to the upside, and now maybe it found a key level in there. Again, there's still the chance eventually to go here. If by any chance gold does want to respect the highs and maybe go down from here, it will need to create some kind of range at around kind of in the middle. Like it needs to create some structure to be able to collect liquidity. Otherwise, if this structure is not created in here, most likely we'll need to use these highs as liquidity for that turn. So actually having this type of a move now in here on gold, especially if you are thinking of selling these highs in here, that can be a good thing, right? Because you may have maybe another top in there, perhaps price going to range a little bit until eventually breaks this level, makes everyone starting to be bullish, but then all of a sudden we may just have the reversal straight away, and then price could actually do something like that. Right, so that's something to bear in mind. Again, price reacted perfectly from this demand zone. Right, so that's really good as well where it reacted. So it basically collected the demand from there. Yeah, but that's for gold. If by any chance price is interested in selling from there. Silver, great reaction as well. So basically it went all the way to react from a little bit of this previous value in there. That actually managed to break again in the overtime frame. You almost don't see it, but it's in there. And now price then on the overtime frame, actually in today's session, created a nice PA in here, and then it just moved to the downside. We had already the break of this low in here, so we were already kind of bearish in here after that break. We can eventually see going a little bit lower as well. Yeah, so that's silver. Then we have oil, which apparently finally coming a little bit back to the lows. It's basically still in the range. We did manage to create a new high, but price found some selling pressure straight away. We do have this demand zone, which price basically is reacting right now, because this low in here never really reacted from it. But in my opinion, again, my favorite level is still somewhere at around this structure. So that's still where I would like to see gold, not gold, oil moving towards to. Alright, so that's a little bit of what I would like to see. Again, we start breaking some structure to the upside. But not really gaining that momentum. My price is reaching in this range. And yeah, it looks like it's where it's going to be. We have also Brent. Again, we do have the same range in here. We have the same demand zone. Again, Brent already reacted from that demand zone in there. So maybe price can just pause in here. While crude oil Yeah, kind of reacted a little bit. Okay, reacted a little bit. So it's basically the same demand zone in there. Yeah, it's basically the same one. So we'll see what's going to happen. Again, another high being broken, eventually price could go higher. We'll see if it's going to be from here or if price eventually is going to go a little bit lower to move to the upside in here. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically my take for tomorrow. Again, it's going to be another week's Friday, so let's see what's going to happen. Let me just do the recap again. Let me just bring this one. Right. All right. So just to recap today's live stream, and what we are going to be looking for tomorrow's trading session. So we have been waiting for the dollar index to move to the downside, and finally today it looks like it's happening. Like that was our prediction. Price is reacting from a really good level on the left side, and if you are looking at the daily candle, it's about to be the first engulfing bearish candle that you have, breaking below and perhaps closing below yesterday's daily candle, which many people are going to look at this candle and perhaps turn bearish from here. We don't really just look at price action like that. We are looking into more detail to see what's going on within the structure. Like so, opposite to what you had on the euro dollar is that dollar index still managed to have this extreme in here, is still fresh. Euro dollar reacted for me today with the news. Like so, today we had finally some important news, not just in US but also in Europe and in UK. You had manufacturing and services PMI. So it started with negative news in France, then positive news in Germany, and then kind of neutral news, slightly negative in the UK, and quite okay positive news or data in the US, with unemployment claims also coming out better than expected and back within that range of 220 to 340 that we have been looking for the most recent data that we got. Right, so again, there was volatility with the news. Tomorrow is going to be basically a non-event aside from retail sales in the Canada, and that allowed actually for dollar index to move to the downside. Basically, we have this structure here that you are looking to fill, starting from these lows, and then potentially can even go further down. But for tomorrow's session, I'm going to be looking for potential opportunities within this range. Again, I'm a little bit more looking for sales at this point, so I'm bearish bias at this point in here. So I want to see price getting a little bit closer to the highs. It can be from there, or it can even fake out the highs as well before moving to the downside. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on the euro and so on. Euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, and so on. It's basically the opposite. Like again, euro dollar already made a really big move to the upside. It was a perfect reaction during the news this morning. Reacted perfectly from the extreme at the lows, and now it's just continuing to move to the upside. Basically, if you're looking at the euro index, for example, you can see how strong the euro index looks like after reacting from those lows on the left side in here. Find today is actually gaining a lot of momentum, and you can see that across our euro pairs: euro dollar, euro index, euro yen, euro pound, and so on. Right, that's an interesting move in here. So we'll see now euro dollar. This may be the bottom for now on euro dollar. I don't really see the need for price to retrace or to come back to the lows. If it happens, perfect. Maybe there's new opportunities to look for longs in there. Pound dollar is not as strong as the euro at this point. Again, the data it was also not as good. So we'll see. It still needs to break a high, which may happen maybe even today, but there's maybe a little bit more of a play, and I could still see even pound dollar eventually to create new lows from where it is. But there's also an opportunity to look for a long within this low. So that's something also that I'll be looking for. And euro pound, in this case, I'm still in the trade, so I'm still hoping for price, or looking to see if price actually managed to break to the upside. So I'm long from the lows. Again, euro pound sometimes, or most of the times, actually is just trending in a range. So again, I'm okay with that. I'm expecting that, so I don't have the wrong expectations for this move on euro pound, but I'm bullish. So let's see if price actually managed to break these recent highs to continue to move a little bit more to the upside. Dollar CAD also is at a good level, so it's approaching or creating new highs, but it's in a compression move. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be more sell pressure as price is getting closer and closer to the highs on the left side. And what else? The yen pairs, right? The yen pairs actually had a strong move on the yen index, which had a strong move to the downside on the yen pairs. Basically, all of them filled the range that we were looking for. And now I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. Like, again, if you have euro yen, dollar yen, and so on moving back closer to the highs, there's maybe an opportunity to look for new sales. It's something to bear in mind in terms of the yen index. I'm curious to see how price may react around this structure. And eventually, that's a little bit of the play that I'll look for. Eventually, for price to fake out this low, getting into the demand zone and perhaps moving to the upside. Like, I would like to see something like that. Even at the bottom in here, it would be nice to see. And then in terms of the US indices, we are in a range today. So yesterday it was a good correction, or basically this morning it was a good correction to the upside. Price just found some level of resistance in here, and now basically in a range. We'll see if it's going to continue to move further down. We did manage to break below these lows on the S&P, so perhaps you can have a little bit more of a move to the downside, but price could also retrace a little bit more into the highs before moving to the downside. Nasdaq quite similar. Okay, you may have not yet filled the full range in here that you're looking for, the spice, but price kind of reacted nicely from that level. Again, from the highs, there's maybe some opportunity. Dow on the opposite side actually just made another leg down and is getting really closer a little bit to the target that you're looking for as well. And DAX basically just respected from one of the levels that we had that you predicted yesterday, and perhaps we could continue to move to the downside. We did manage to break below those lows, so I'm still a little bit more bearish on the DAX, but now it could range a little bit between these two levels until price breaks some structure as well. Gold corrected a little bit. Silver actually made another leg down after the break of the low as well. That's something that we're looking for. And oil, it just continues to be within this range. It made a new high, but is back into the range. And again, I would like to see oil getting a little bit closer to the lows before potentially looking for another long. That has been my bias, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm just going to be waiting for that opportunity to be long or to go long on oil. So that's basically it. Tomorrow is Friday, so enjoy your last day of the week. Even if you have a positive week or a negative week, just stay disciplined within your own trading. With that being said, guys, I'll see you again on Sunday. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you're getting value as well, yeah, just feel free to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you very much. We got. Bye-bye.